Hey there, welcome back. I hope everybody's doing good out there today. Today I'm going to be doing a patron shout request for Dan L. Dan says that the Sixers are working on something and he's not sure what it is, but it should be really fun. So in the meantime, he's decided to give me a little detour away from this amazing new band to take me back to when I was a kid. Although in 1978, when this came out, I wasn't listening to Alice Cooper. As you can imagine, I was, 5, and my parents would not have let me listen to Alice Cooper. But he has me listening to the song The Quiet Room from the album From the Inside. He gave me some really incredible information about the album, about all the different people who were involved with the album. People that were really big, or going to be, either were already really big or were going to be really big, with the writing and the playing on the album, and it was really cool. And he also described some really amazing stuff about the actual physical album sleeve that had all kinds of hidden or little doors you could open up with details that go along with the songs. That sounded amazing. It was like, I've never been a vinyl guy. I'm not one of those people who go out and I gotta find the newest vinyl. When I first started getting music of my own, it was actually on 8-track, or then I moved into cassettes and CDs and stuff. But I know a lot of people are huge into vinyl, but it was never one of my things. But this is one album I would love to have a copy of, just for all the cool little bits and pieces that are part of the physical album cover. Very, very cool. Dan, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for having me go back and listen. I can't say I haven't heard this song, but I don't recognize the name. I know a lot of his big hits. I know a lot of the stuff he was doing back in the 80s and 90s. That was, when he was releasing stuff, when I was in high school and stuff. But I'm not very familiar with anything from his early career that wasn't a giant, big hit. So I don't think I've heard the song, but I may have. If I have, I'll let y'all know that it's something I've heard before. But Dan, you're an absolute rock star. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it. And thanks for having me listen to some Alice Cooper. You can never go wrong with Alice. So this is going to be fantastic. I'm excited for this. This is this is the studio version. So we'll be looking at the cover of the album. It'd be cool if it was an animated video that it showed all the little hidden stuff on the cover, but I don't think it does. But this is going to be fun, so I'm excited for this. So this is I haven't even switched over. I'm ahead of myself. Okay, so here we go. Patron shout request for Dan L. of Alice Cooper with The Quiet Room.
California air, your nightgown on the stair. I remember every night, scenes from home in the quiet room. How long have I been gone? Did winter kill the love? And all those Polaroids you sent are on the wall in the quiet room. They've got this place where they've been keeping me, where I can't hurt myself, I can't get my wrist to bleed, just don't know why. Suicide appeals to me. Sterilized and white, it's like a tomb with just a mark
Okay, this is. I haven't heard this before. This is the first time I've heard this one. And Dan let me know kind of what's going on in the album. The album, I don't know if I would consider it a full concept album, but all the songs have to do with an insane asylum, I think, and the different songs are the different characters. And I guess one of the panels of that you can open on the thing is all the different characters like running out of the asylum. The music is cool. One thing Alice has always been able to do is, I wouldn't call it a parody, but a way to bring in other styles of music without it being like serious about that style of music. He does it as a way to pervert your expectations of what's going to happen, and then he turns into Alice, and he gets a little more gruff, a little bit more aggressive, like it did there. It was I'd say very 50s, 60s, radio pop sound at the beginning, and then there's a twist there going into the chorus, and the guitars get a little bit more aggressive, and his voice gets a little less clean, puts a little bit of gravel into his voice. He's such an amazing character. I've seen interview after interview after interview, about how he got the name Alice Cooper, and how I've seen interviews about all his more infamous things that's happened to him, and just how he's this really smart, incredibly smart dude who has just embraced that shock rock of the 70s and obviously became an icon. He's still, I would say he's still relevant today. He's very cool, and this song is really interesting. I'm digging it.
It's like a tomb with just a moth-stained naked line. Plastic forks and spoons.
See, the sound of what's going on versus the content of the actual lyrics doesn't match, but he's making it work. Sorry, I shouldn't have stopped that soon after just starting back, but it went back to this very sweet, like I said, radio pop friendly 60s thing going on, but you can tell the lyrics are a little bit twisted, a little bit off. And I'm digging it. It's very cool.
Plastic forks and spoons. No laces in my shoe. They all know what I tried to do outside the quiet room.
And he turns back into Alice. Okay, real quick before we get to the end of the song, I feel like an idiot. It just occurred to me, and I know this. It's not something you gotta I've got so much going on in my brain, and there's not much space in there for it to bounce around with. I've actually seen Alice live. I just remembered as like during when it went back into the more aggressive chorus, I'm like, I was in my mind, I'm like, oh, this would be cool to see as part of his live stage show, because the stage show is always so cool. And then I'm like, shit, I've seen him live. What am I talking about? I didn't hear this song, obviously, I'm guessing I didn't hear this song, but I saw him. It was a double bill. Alice Cooper and Scorpions were doing a double headline tour where each stop, one of them would be the headliner and the other one would open, and they were going back and forth like that. The time I saw it, I believe Alice was the opener and Scorpions was the closer, but it was an equal build tour, and it was fantastic. It flooded back to me as soon as I thought in my mind, wow, this would be cool to see it on stage live because of how cool his stage show is, and then it just flooded in there. Crap, I've seen it. I've seen him do not this song, but I've seen him do his thing live, and he puts on an incredible show. It was sometime in the mid '90s. I think it was the second time I saw Scorpions. My first time seeing Scorpions was in '89, so it had to have been early to mid '90s when I saw him live. But sorry, as soon as it occurred to me that I had actually seen him live, I'm like, I've got to kind of tell that little bit of the story. Sometimes I really question my memory. It's not like it used to be. And I'm only 52. Imagine what it's going to be like when I'm 70. I'm not going to remember what I did yesterday.
I just can't get these damn wrists to bleed. A mattress on the floor, no handles on the door.
It sounds so sweet.
I'm alone.
Whole song is the most played part. It ends so sweet, just like it began so sweet, but the context of the song itself is really scary and really dark. So that was a patron shout request for Dan L. of Alice Cooper with The Quiet Room. Fantastic song. I loved how he does what he does. The musicians that are credited for this specific song, I do like to go through those. I don't have any, it doesn't show backing vocals specific to this song, but it's Davey on guitar, D on bass, David on keyboards, Jay on guitar, David on bass, so 2 bass players in the same song, and Fred on keyboard. That could be wrong if I'm going by Google. But that was fantastic. Let me go to Dan's specific message real quick so I know exactly who we're talking about. He said for the album, Bernie Taupin, which is Elton John's lyricist, wrote a lot of the lyrics for this album. Steve Lukather, Toto's founder, and Michael Jackson, guitarist. He played the guitar along with Dick Wagner, who played with Lou Reed and Kiss. Rick Nelson of Cheap Trick, Kiki D sang one of the songs on the album and did backing vocals. So that's all. Those are the other ones that worked on the whole album. Possibly did some of the stuff for this song. So I just wanted to be sure I'd said all the names I knew, because to me it's important that everybody who puts so much effort into this music that we all love gets the credit that they deserve. So it was a great song. It's a great song. I love how it subverts your expectations between the beginning and then it goes into the chorus, which is more Alice like, then it goes back into the verse, which is doesn't sound much like Alice. The lyrics do, but the sound doesn't, and then it goes back into the more Alice sound. And then it ends quiet and pretty again. If you're just listening to the music, if you listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh God. But this was fantastic. Alice is just such an incredible artist. He has been from the very beginning. I really dig him. He's so good. And I'm glad that I got to listen to this finally. I may need to go through this whole album, and I would love to get a hold of the actual vinyl, the original vinyl that has all the openings and stuff. What Dan was telling me about that sounded really cool. Just how much effort they put into that album, both musically and physically, sounded amazing. So this was very cool. Dan, you're an absolute rock star. Thank you so much for having me go back to Alice. Haven't listened to him in a while, actually. Like, I mean, I hear him once in a while, like on shorts or a radio once in a while. The very few, seldom times I actually listen to the radio and not CDs. But it's been a while since I've sat and listened to a full song, and that was cool. Really, really enjoyed that. So thank you a lot for everything all the support you give me. It's amazing. If you guys like this video, give it a like, comment, subscribe, and notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time.